Linus Tech Tips coverage of CES 2015 is brought to you by Phantom Glass. Visit store.phantom.glass for the best darn screen protectors out there, as well as HyperX. So we wanted to talk about the G Flex 2, but you can see behind me, I can't get anywhere near this freaking table. Everybody's looking at it, everyone's walking all over the place, so we had to track down someone from LG, and I was like, do you even know who I am? And they were like, yeah, whoa, totally, you're Linus, aren't you? That's not how it happened at all, actually, but I did manage to get my hands on a G Flex 2 here. So this is looking a lot better than the G Flex 1 that I first saw last year, and one of the things that I noticed right away when I picked it up is that, similar to what we've seen ever since the G2, I believe, was the first one to do this, we've still got the volume and lock button on the back in a place that is actually quite natural and comfortable for a larger phone like this. But unlike the G Flex 1, which had kind of this curve that was designed around the curve of the screen and not around the curve of your hand, they've changed it up. So it fits nicely in your hand, but the screen has its own completely separate curve, so it feels natural to your eyes as well. Now, whether or not you sort of buy into the whole do we benefit from a curved screen on something this small is totally up to you, and it's something that you're going to have to try for yourself. I haven't actually done a full review of a Flex device before, but who knows? Maybe that'll happen in the future, right, LG? But the specs of the phone are looking pretty darn good. It's got a Snapdragon 810 processor. It's an octa-core. That's 8 cores, but I don't have any idea if that's 8 high-performance cores or 4 power-saving ones and 4 high-performance ones or anything like that. It'll be available in variants with 2 or 3 gigs of RAM, different types of storage. It's got an OLED display that looks absolutely beautiful, and 1080p, which I'm not sure exactly why they're doing that, since they were one of the, actually I believe they were the first to do a 1440p phone with the G3, but I definitely understand why they might want to, because with OLED you're going to get some power savings, and by going with a lower resolution display you're going to get some power savings there as well, for something that I don't personally believe really benefits the user, going above 1080p. Speaking of power, the battery is 3,000 milliamp hours. They've made a couple of other upgrades as well. It's got a 2.1 megapixel selfie camera, a 13 megapixel rear camera, and that selfie camera gets a couple of gesture upgrades. So we've still got the whole go like this to start the countdown timer thing to start your selfie, but now, just by moving the phone down, you can actually preview it as well. They also wanted me to show you guys this one. It's not the best glance for notifications implementation I've ever seen, but you can drag down from the top in order to preview your notifications. Not too shabby, and definitely something that those of you who don't already have smartwatches will find will come in handy. So I don't have any kind of confirmation as to when this will be available in Canada at the very least, but looking pretty nice, and it has a much nicer feel than the previous one, in spite of the plastic back, which, by the way, has their next generation self-healing technology. So we first saw this on the G Flex, where they were doing demos. They had like wire brushes going all across the backs of the phones, and they were healing in a matter of minutes. Now it starts to heal in a matter of about 10 seconds, meaning that you can throw it in your purse, throw it in your pocket with your keys or whatever else, and it's going to look nice, not only on the front where it's got Gorilla Glass, but also on the back where it's got that self-healing tech. That's not the only cool thing though. Under the back, you take it off, you've got micro SD expansion, something that some phone manufacturers are really shying away from and others are embracing, and I'm glad to know that LG is totally embracing it, because you've got support for micro SD cards up to 2 terabytes, which is completely bananas. So I actually have to put this down for a second and give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So our first sponsor is Phantom Glass. These guys make freaking awesome screen protectors. They're Gorilla Glass 3, so they have that same scratch resistance, that same clarity, and that same nice feel to your finger as that's the regular screen on your phone, except that you don't have to worry about damaging it. Speaking of not worrying about damaging things. And they're available at store.phantom.glass. You guys are going to want to check them out. They're pretty much impossible to apply with a bubble underneath. Also want to do a quick shout out. Wow, that was awkward. For HyperX. Hopefully they don't mind me screwing that up. YouTube.com/HyperX. They've got a lot of great gaming content over there. Those guys have a great sense of humor though, so hopefully they're going to just roll with that or not watch this. Guys, don't miss any of our CES coverage. Just click that subscribe button and we'll see you at the next booth.